Hello, YouTube. All right, I was gonna go live, but getting really bad signal here. I think because of all the people with phones. But I'm at the Brevard Zoo, which, if you're not familiar with this area, it's a really awesome zoo. I think it's one of the best zoos in the world. It's located at the intersection, almost at the intersection of Wickham Road and I-95 in Brevard County. But this is what the zoo looks like, and they basically divided it into like 4 main sections. Well, 5 if you count the paws on. Paws on is like a petting zoo, which right now, because of COVID, they're not allowing petting. But you can still go in there and see the animals. Like they got like goats and stuff like that, and little animals. Then you got the rainforest, which has the monkeys, and wild Florida, which we see all the time when we go on our walk. Lands of Change is Australia, and they have what's really cool about that place is they have an aviary where the birds can actually come up to you, and they allow you to buy these little containers with like nectar or whatever, and the birds come and they'll actually land on you and drink. They also have the last section is called Expedition Africa, and basically has animals and stuff from Africa. The big draw there is giraffes. You can actually feed the giraffes. So this zoo is pretty cool. They also have, in addition to the zoo itself, they have like, I think, 2 kayak trails. One called Africa kayaking, and the other one is wetlands kayaking. These are additional things that you pay for. It's not too expensive. I think it's like $10 per person. And outside of the zoo, they have like the treetop trek, which is like a zip line. And some of those courses that they have actually run through the zoo, like in the trees. So people will cross over and do that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is like the front entrance when you come in. But pretty much paws on is the section that you see first, and it is the petting zoo. Okay, one of the first sections you're going to come to when you come in is actually the petting zoo. But before you get to the petting zoo, there's like a little section for kids. They have the Indian River Lagoon, which is like a man-made lagoon for kids to play in and walk around in. But the big draw in this section is actually the animals, and you're allowed to come up to them. Normally you can pet them, but like right now because of COVID, no petting. But you can walk around with them. So we got this really ancient land tortoise here. And I forget what that thing's called. I forget his name. It's a weird animal. And of course chickens and goats. You can see our goat friend here. We got chickens, llamas, alpaca. That's what this is. The alpacas. And goats. Really cool place if you have little kids. You know, come here. The zoo itself has like admission. I think it's like $25 per person. But if you're a family and you live around here, it's probably better to get the membership for like $150. Everybody in your family can come in, and you can pretty much come to the zoo as often as you want. And you get discounts with the membership card. So that's a really good value for like a family if you live around here or if you come through this area often. So $150, you bring your whole family in and you spend a couple hours. So, little goat, little chicken. Hello. And goat's just saying nap time. Chicken's like, I'm just looking for food. So this is the cool section with the petting, and out there is the Indian River Lagoon, and there's a play set for kids, which I'm not going to film because there's little kids running around out there. Okay, I see that it's kind of empty in the section, so I'll go ahead and film it. But this is the lagoon, and they have like a tank here with animals that swim around. Sometimes you can see like, although I don't see them active right now, but normally there are like stingrays and stuff like that that swim around. There it is. I don't know if you can see the big ray coming up. He thinks you want to feed him. See the ray coming right up? And he's like, hey, you don't have any food. I thought you had food. So that's a stingray. And he came straight to me because he thought I had food and said, no, you're not the feeder. Of course, they have fish here that are pretty decent size. They're probably about like, I think it's about 3.5, 4 feet long. They also have like a little tank here. Normally they used to let people touch, but because of COVID right now, you know, you can't pet stuff or lift them up and look at them and things like that. But they used to let people come in and do that. And then on the other side, there's actually it's like a swimming pool almost, but they made it like the lagoon. It's not, water's not that deep, and little kids can go around there and play in it. There's like a little area here for just playing in the sand. I think they even have like a breastfeeding area here where moms can feed their kids. So pretty cool. There's water. Of course, this is the water in the zoo, and it's, you know, live fish swimming around in that water. They have a little boat the kids can go on and look around and pretend and play. But those other walkways are actually for the other parts of the zoo, which we're going to go to next. I know you guys heard me talk about zip lines and stuff. See, there's a zip line right here. So somebody just zipped across. That's one of the Treetop Trek adventure people. They have they literally have zip lines spanning throughout the zoo. Different zip lines. I think 14 to 16 different zip lines. And they also have skywalks and stuff that people climb and walk on. That's done at Treetop Trek, which is outside, you know, right before you get to the main zoo entrance. It's on the right hand side, and they charge quite a bit for that. I think prices range for the kiddie one. I think the kiddie one is like $20. The bigger ones are like $50, $60, $70 per person. They're kind of expensive, but if you're into that, you know, it could be a once in a lifetime adventure. Might be worth checking out if you got the money and you want to do it. Alright, the first major section of the zoo is the rainforest. And in the rainforest, you're going to see rainforest animals, which I will be showing you here in a minute. They have some small display cases with glass in them and snakes with that whizzing sound of zip liners zipping right through. I don't know if you hear that. Those are zip liners flying across people as they're out down the zoo. But what I like about the zoo is actually that most of the cages aren't like little tiny cages. They're actually pretty big, and a lot of them interconnect. Like they actually allow the animals to climb from one section to another. But here's like one of the monkey cages. As you can see him there, he's getting ready to go through to another section. See how he left this cage and he's climbing through, and he's going to go to the other section, and he can even cross over people to the other side. So, you know, I normally don't like animals being caged, which I still don't like. But if you're going to cage them, at least give them plenty of space and make it as natural as possible. And Brevard Zoo does that. You know, the environments seem a little bit more natural, or, you know, like real trees and stuff. And it's not like just a little box. They actually can go to different sections and wander around. You can see they're up there on the catwalk. So the animals can kind of roam through what a little forest area that they have access to here, but it's not like a cage per se. And this section here actually has a jaguar. I don't know what a jaguar is. He might be taking a nap because it is noon, but the jaguar can roam through and also climb and cross over. Oh, there he is. Couldn't find the jaguar there. I would be terrible in a real rainforest. You're like, I don't know where the jaguar is, and he's like 10 feet away from me.
I did.
He's taking a really long yawn. But, yeah. So you can see it's not just like a little cage, it's actually like almost like a little habitat, little area. And he can actually climb over and go to another section. So he has a pretty big roaming area. And you can kind of tell the animals here, they do take pretty good care of them. I don't really see any that look, you know, sick or anything like that. They look like they're in pretty good shape. So like I said, if you're gonna have a zoo or something, I think this is the way to do it, where the animals aren't in a tiny little area, but they actually have big, huge enclosures, and they take really good care of them. They got a little turtle here. There's monkeys that are normally here screaming and swinging and playing, but it's like it's about 1 p.m. and I think they are all like asleep. You know, animals tend to take a nap in the middle of the day, so I don't see any of the monkeys are out. So they're all taking a nap right now. So that's what's going on. So There's even a treetop observation station. You can actually, as part of the zoo, you can actually climb up and go look from the top of the zoo and look down. So, not like a typical zoo. At least, the zoos I was used to going to, they had all these cages lined up and the animals on. This zoo, you walk through the trees, you walk through the treetops, you can look down on the animals and the people, and I don't know if you can see the walkways there. Those are for the tree climbers, the treetop adventurers. See, look. So the treetop adventure people climb right through here, through the exhibit, so they can experience the zoo and the thrill of trying not to fall into the jaguar pit. Okay, these are the Cottontop Tamarins. And they're actually not sleeping. They're kind of just hanging out, huh? Hi there. Just sort of hanging around. It looks like they're building a new area here, some kind of platform, possibly for more of the treetop trek. They have sections with birds as well as otters. Lots of different animals you can see around here. Rainforest animals. I think that was it. It was a capybara. I think that's what that little one was, but there's a big one right there. Capybara, I guess that's what it's called. And in certain areas of the zoo, they have little feeding jar thingies that you could, you put a quarter in and you can get the little bits of food that you can feed the animals. There are vultures here, but I don't think they're actually part of the exhibit. Those are actual Florida vultures. And because they leave the roof open, the animals come in here. The vultures come in here and hang out and poop everywhere. The second part of the zoo you're going to come upon is called Wild Florida, and they basically have animals here that you see me showing on most of my videos. Animals that you find in Florida. Normally, right out here as you cross this bridge, there's usually a bunch of gators laying out here sunning, but they all appear to be gone right now. Oh wait, here's one right here on the other side here. Right up by the people. And this one's huge. I think he's probably about a 12-footer or more. He's big. Look at him. So, normally you don't see them that big in the parks and stuff because they haul them off. But at the zoo, they're allowed to roam. And they do have feedings at certain times. You can ask the zoo or look online and you can come and watch them feed the gators. One of the more popular exhibits here on the Florida side is the Otters. And they like putting on a show. They actually come right up. Look at them. The otters are actually checking the people out, but they play. There's like a little waterfall area, and they dive in the water. And down below there's a tank. There's a tank that they swim, and the kids go and look at them, and they check out the kids. You can see that one's like peeking out, looking. They're checking out the kids. Most of the animals that we can see in the Florida exhibit are animals that I see almost daily. Just walking around in Florida. Florida is full of wildlife. I think there's an anteater here. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I think this is the anteater. It's like saying, oh no, this is the bears. This is the black bears. So Cheyenne and Brody. So there's two black bears in here. But they like to hide. I know the last time I saw, oh there it is. There's one of them. One of the bears right there. Florida black bear. That's what they look like. They're not that big compared to like a grizzly or other bears. Florida bears, black bears, that one's probably, if I had to tell you his height, he's probably about 4 or 5 feet tall if he were to stand up, on hind legs. So it's like the size of maybe smaller than a St. Bernard dog. Like a large dog, but fat. Most of the time, every time I come here, they're sleeping. I think that's a hawk over there. Right there in between the trees. I don't know if that's a hawk or not. I think it is a hawk. I think they might clip the wings on the birds though, which makes me a little sad, but you know. See, personally, I don't really like animals being locked up, but at the same time, the zoo raises awareness of animals and the rainforest and all these things, and conservation, why it's important to take care of the environment and the animals. And it helps to make people more aware. They also do some stuff here with the animals, like research and things like that, with the environment and taking care of the lagoon and things. So there is some benefit in it. And the zoo generates quite a bit of money and support. And I think the money can be used to help this area. Although, looking at the condition of the lagoons here and how dirty they are, I think more work needs to be done. Once you leave Wild Florida, you end up at the Flamingo Cafe, which you can, there's a restroom here that you can go to, but there's also a train boarding station, so you can ride a little choo-choo train around the zoo. It actually goes through the zoo, throughout the zoo. For those of you who have never seen a flamingo, this is what they look like. They have it right by the food court here, so people can observe them while they're eating and stuff. But from what I understand, the coloring is based upon the algae that they eat in the water. That's what causes them that pink color, if I remember correctly. Once you leave the food area, you get to the lands of change, which is Australia and beyond. This section is pretty cool because they got like lots of birds. And I think this is the side with the aviary. We're going to try to go through the aviary where you can actually go inside and birds will fly around you. But because we are in Florida, wildlife is all over the place. So those aren't zoo exhibits. Some of these birds, fancy birds and pretty birds you see around, they're not even part of the exhibit. Those are Florida birds. And they're migrating or flying and they see, oh man, this place would be a cool place to rest. So they come down here and hang out in exhibits. You see the vultures everywhere. Those black vultures. Florida has wild boars. Australia has these things.
Pumbaa.
I guess it's called a pumbaa. It looks almost like a wild boar. It's about like 3.5 feet long, and probably about 2 feet tall. Just to give you a size reference. Okay. Let's see. It doesn't know what that. My life had changed. North Slough. Let's say. It's not a pumbaa. I don't know what this thing's called. I guess it's this. North Sulawesi Babarusa. I think that's what it is. I think that's what the name of that creature is right there. And you can see, I think one's laying down. They kind of huddled together. It is about noon, a little bit past noon, and most of the animals take naps during this time. One of the cool things is they do have a kangaroo walkabout where you're allowed to walk inside with the animals. So that's pretty neat. It's hard to believe, but they actually have this section open. Now, the other day I was here, the kangaroos and stuff were running around, but I think they're all like hiding right now. But they have those giant birds, I forget what they're called. They also come up. It's like they have a little walkway for you, so you obviously shouldn't be running around in their actual area. But the kangaroos come out here, those emus come out here, these little things called Reeves Muntjac, swamp wallabies, and rabbits. So all these animals are actually here roaming with the people. And I guess somebody sees one of the animals there. The little roo. See, like I said, it is about 1-2 p.m. and all the animals tend to nap during the afternoon. But yeah, they actually let you walk through with the animals. There you see all the kangaroos are just laying there chilling. Trying to. I feel like doing that. Maybe it's nap time for me too. Well, if we've ever wondered what these birds are that look like dinosaurs, they are a cassowary, southern cassowary. I think we saw one earlier, but I don't see him out now. And I think that's actually him now. Now, originally when I came here to the zoo years back, they said to stay away from these guys. 'Cause, you know, they had a cage, you know, where the people walk. And they would come up and they said, don't put your finger there because they'll actually bite your finger off. But now they got it like totally open, so if he wants to, he can come right up to people. There's nothing to keep the animals from coming up. And even somebody could walk there, but you're not supposed to. So if you come here, don't cross their little poles. But yeah, they do have a couple of them sitting here. The aviary has been moved, so it is now directly across from the Australian display. You notice they have these little chain thingies here to keep the birds from flying out. Because once you walk through that little door area, you are walking with the birds. And birds can be everywhere, flying around. And if you have the nectar, they'll actually come right up to you. So you're basically in a big giant bird cage. They have a whole bunch of variety of different types of birds here. All of them are just like roaming around just like you are. And I do not believe their wings are clipped. Their wings are not clipped, so they can actually fly. Which is why they have the door blocked off. This pink guy, he comes up to you. He was following me around the other day. Hey, do you remember me? He came up to me and followed me throughout my whole journey through here the other day. And kept coming up to me, to my shoes. You can see that little guy just flew by there. They're looking for people who have nectar. They sell these little cups of nectar for $2. And you can feed the birds with it. This one I heard will bite. But most of these guys here, the rainbow lorikeets, they don't bite. But they do love that nectar. I'll see if I can get this guy to come on without biting me, hopefully. You want to come? You want to come on my hand? Nope, nope. He's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to come on your hand. You don't want to come on me? You don't want to come? No, he's scared of me. Meanwhile, these guys are just sitting here chilling, ignoring everything. The aviary is pretty cool, but very loud. And the birds literally fly right through you. They fly right within inches of your ear, your head. Sometimes they even land on your head, so be prepared for that. The last section of the zoo that you'll come upon is the Expedition Africa. In this expedition, in this exhibit, you're going to see all sorts of animals that will be found in Africa, of course. These, I forget what they're called. They're,
Yes! 2 more!
I forget what they're called. You see how cute they look.
They want to get out.
I think these are like the animals that are from like, I can't remember. My brain's, I got a brain freeze.
Come on.
So they have names. They're mercat. Mercat guardians. That's what they are. And they actually stand up on their 2 legs, although I don't see them doing it now, but they were earlier. He's like peeking out, looking around.
Beautiful. Another one. Another cat.
Mercat. You can see the kayakers passing through. They have, like I said, two kayak routes, one through Africa and one through the wetlands, and they basically go right through along the edges of the zoo and run through the exhibits. The big draw on the African exhibit is actually the giraffes and the rhinos. Apparently, I guess they have cheetahs too. I don't see the cheetah. But they have them here because they got them named and they got pictures of them, so they're here somewhere hiding. Oh, there's one. I tell you, I would be very bad in the wilderness in Africa. I'd be like, I don't see no cheetah. And it's like right by me. That's one of the cheetahs. They're roaming. They're actually quite big. I thought they'd be smaller. That cheetah right there is larger than a dog, larger than a large dog, unless it's one of those giant dogs. But I would say he's probably about 3.5 feet tall. You know, from his feet up, not standing, not standing on 2 legs, but it's on 4 legs. He's about 3.5 feet tall, maybe even 4. Huge. I would have thought it was like a cat, you know, just a little bit larger than a cat, but no, it's like about 10 times bigger than a cat. Yeah, now I would understand how if people saw these in the wilds, they would be really scared. I'd be scared. That thing's big. It's bigger than me, let me put it that way. And there's the other one there laying on its belly over there in the distance. I don't know if you can see that. It's just laying there, chilling. That's what animals do when it's hot. As we are in Africa, of course, you can see, I guess those must be gazelles and rhinoceros. The big draw, however, for this exhibit is actually the giraffes, which they allow feeding. You can see the giraffes are so used to it. They come up and literally can be fed. One just walked right by me here because he sees a bunch of kids here with they feed them these leafy lettuce thingies. You can see how big their head is. They're pretty large, and they come right up to you. Look at the tongue that's sticking out. They love it. Look at that. In the past, they used to feed them crackers, but now they feed them. See him coming up here. This is the big draw to this exhibit is the giraffe. They also have peacocks and stuff here. I think there's a peacock down there, maybe not. No, those aren't peacocks. They got little white thingies on their heads, but they're not peacocks. But Florida does have peacocks, which they don't have on display here for some reason, even though peacocks are all over this area. But yeah, it's $2 to get like a leaf, and it might seem kind of expensive, but the money's used to maintain the zoo and develop it. And this is a really nice zoo. Like I said, it's probably one of the best zoos I've ever been to, and definitely worth the stop if you're passing through Brevard County. And if you live here, you probably want to get the membership pass. $150, you can come here all year round with your family. And this pretty much wraps up our tour of the Brevard County Zoo, the Brevard Zoo. It's not a county zoo, it's just Brevard Zoo. But I hope you enjoyed the tour and found the video entertaining, if not informative. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Stay safe and enjoy life. Bye-bye now, everybody.